Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlars. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And it's the Hump Day Happy Hour Salute. And we are simulcasting with a huge show. Why don't you introduce yourself? Huge show.
So my channel, I'm Keith, Vintage Sport Flips. I have a YouTube channel specializing in sports memorabilia, sports cards. And then once a week, me and my partner down below, Andy, do a live podcast called Pastime Picks Podcast. So we decided to do a joint with the $1 Million Peddlars tonight.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And as a matter of fact, this is not Vintage Sports Flip's first appearance on the channel. He has appeared on the channel before in the Allentown interview series. Got its own playlist over there as well. Definitely do check it out. A lot of fun. The only problem with that, of course, was a bit of background noise and all that. But
yeah,
as much as we were yelling at everybody at the show, can you keep it down? Can you keep it down? People still wanted to transact business. It's kind of crazy. No respect.
Yeah, it's a loud show for sure. But it's the audio sounded good still when I watched it.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun as well. So we're gonna hop right into the show. Mr. Magazine is actually on a fast of some sort, so he did not drink this today. So I enjoyed a little bit of Drambuie before the show. Trust me, if you have to be his partner, you will begin to drink as well. We'll jump right on into it with how sales are. And I know you guys do a little something special here for your sales segment. So why don't you take it away?
Yeah, so each week we do a sales of the week segment where me and Andy show each other and in the chat our sales of the week, and we guess the selling prices. We want to get within 10% of the price.
Oh, wow.
And then the third item overall. So my second item, we do a giveaway that the winner of the giveaway gets 2 vintage sport card or non-sport card packs of the winner can choose sport or non-sport. And we also do a cumulative giveaway over 12 weeks. So the person who wins the most giveaways over 12 weeks wins a $50 gift card to one of our eBay stores.
Oh,
very cool.
Yeah. So we do like a fun horse race. We make like an AI horse for the winner. We won't have any of that at our disposal tonight, but it's actually the first. We're starting a new 12-week segment anyway. So it's
good time.
It's all, it's a wide open race. Yeah. Exactly. So I'll share I'm not sure how I can share. Let's see. I think you might have to approve when I share.
Okay.
Paper Goy. Let me see. Okay. Did that
add to stage?
There we go.
Oh,
cool.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this was an eBay sale. 19. Let me get the date. I think it's 1929. Yeah, 1929 Norwalk, Connecticut. Full-size football trophy. It was called the Norwalk Hour Trophy. So it was about like 15 inches tall, pretty big silver plate trophy that I sold.
Holy mackerel.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to guess?
Yeah. Andy never gets it right, so we're no pressure.
I'm pretty good on that, I think. I'm pretty good. But
We'll let Andy go first, just so we have kind of a starting point, because we have no idea.
Sounds good. I don't know. I've gotten some information through osmosis just by being around Keith, and he never stops talking about this stuff. So I think I have an idea of more or less. Like, I think these are quite popular. I know he's always like on the hunt looking for them, and like if he sees them, he's always buying them. So my guess is that it's probably, mid 300s, I would think. So I think it's probably in that maybe 250 to 350 range would be my guess.
You know what's funny? I know nothing, and the number in my head that just kept popping through my head is 350. I don't know why it was a 350. No idea.
I had a number popping in too. Now, obviously, if it's Alabama, some big schools, you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. Absolutely. 465 was my number. I don't know why. Just 465.
Okay.
I think those are good guesses, and I think my guess, if I had to guess, would be around. I think, like you said, it's not a huge school or anything like that. So, but I think, like
100
you said,
years old too. So it's 100 years old.
Yeah, coming up on it. Yeah,
and it looks like it's in decent condition too. Are those dents on the side though?
No, it's reflection. Yeah, there's no flaws with it.
I would guess like 325 would be my guess on that.
All right, it looks like was that 3,500 pounds from Eric Parent
or pounds?
That is. And John Mole with $1.98.
And we got $3.98.
Wow,
so we are all of.
So their average is $17.50. So
yeah. All right,
you
I'll
can't
pull
go
up.
over.
You can go. We play. You can go over.
Yeah,
all right.
we're not playing. What is it?
650.
See,
$6.50.
okay.
So Mr. Magazine was the closest one on
Yeah,
that.
Mr. Magazine takes that down. So yeah, I had this up for $9.99.99. Took an offer on it.
Cool.
Still have to ship it out. That's why it's I sold it yesterday. So
It's a lot of shipping
Couple
too.
questions
Yeah,
for you
yeah.
about that, just in general. Where do you find something like that?
well, I actually bought this in a big sports auction house. I bought a pair of them. It was one of their premier auctions, so I guess it slipped through the cracks. I paid like $3 something for 2 of them,
Okay.
and I still have the other one listed as well. So yeah.
Very cool.
I mean, I do buy trophies a lot at flea markets and stuff, but this was not a flea market buy.
Right. Okay. Very nice.
Very nice.
All right, so I'll pull that down. Hey, Andy, what do you got on your end?
All right, let me see if I'm going to try to share a screen as well. I might need to. There we go. So typically, I almost exclusively sell pennants, hence the name. But
So to mix it all up.
yeah, I know. I just want to throw you guys for a loop. But yeah, I started. I had a bunch of cards. I had a bunch of cards that I actually got graded recently. Unfortunately, this one got graded pretty low. It's an 8 out of 10, obviously, and it could have been quite expensive. But this is kind of a big hit from a card pack or from the Don Rust. It's called Downtown, and it's Drake May, which is kind of one of the rookie quarterbacks that people are chasing. So I figured I probably should try and sell it before he kind of stinks up the place. If he does, I mean, it's like you never know.
Say that
He
to
can't
Mac
be the
Jones'
next Mac
face.
Jones. Yeah, he can't be the next Mac Jones.
Exactly. I mean, you got Mac Jones. You could have there's countless numbers. Even like Anthony Richardson was like a big player, and all his stuff has fallen down. Even I would even say CJ Stroud is a lot of his stuff is fallen off a little bit.
And he had a good year too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think people just kind of whatever's the new guy. So everybody's looking for the next.
They're flooding it too. Like look at Wemby. I mean, his cards were 6 figures, and now he got 10,000 one of ones. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We have a $90 guest from the chat.
Okay.
And I know Andy, you said you're going to crack this out, but you didn't.
I didn't. I said,
I would have sold it as you did. I mean, that's
I just to give you a heads up, 95% of the stuff that I sell is not on an auction. It's just on buy it now.
Okay.
So I have been selling these on an auction, but like setting the price kind of hot, like roughly what I would accept, obviously.
Sure.
So because some of these things would, I mean, I'm not going to sell it for.
You're not 99
$5.
sending it and hoping. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and if it doesn't sell, I wasn't like super stressed about it either. So,
gotcha.
But there you go.
So I would go on this one. So grade 8's not a super high grade, but it's definitely a downtowns are what everyone wants in the modern stuff. I'm gonna go 380 on it.
Go ahead, Mr. Magazine. You know a lot more about cards than me.
Yeah, I mean, not that I'm getting away from it. They're so volatile. It just bothers me. I hate dealing in that stuff because I like the high profit stuff, and I can't buy cards cheap like I used to years ago. All right, I'm going to guess 250.
And I know literally nothing about new cards. 1981 is about my line of demarcation. I know the early stuff, 81 and before. I'm going to guess $150, and I have zero idea where that came from.
Okay, so let's see if I can share this tab.
If you offered it to Paperboy for 20, he would not buy it.
I would not buy it. Nope.
484 for an 8.
Whoa.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. So
what's the raw one? Got to be 600 then?
Yeah, in hindsight, I probably should have sold it immediately raw, and I probably would have got closer to 800 or 900 for it. I ended up getting it graded, and PSA takes 2.5 months sometimes now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If it graded, so what I was hoping for, and it looked like it was pretty good. I mean, everybody I think has sort of that. They put rose-colored glasses on when they see their card, so I was like, oh, it's gonna be a 10. Yeah. And if it was a 10, I probably could have sold it for 12 or 1,500. So.
Yeah, and this is the off season too, and it's still selling that. I mean, that's strong for an 8 off season, really. If you think
these had not just come out. These had probably come out in the last 3 months. So I do think that there's some like buyer's fatigue eventually too. So they're out and about. And I think if I waited too long, if he starts stinking up the joint, then it's $250. And so that I kind of thought I had it up for 500, and then it didn't sell. Somebody offered me. I said, asked me what I would take, and I said 484.
Well,
I see you ran at an auction. You ran an auction and it didn't sell. Not a buy it now.
Somebody asked me after, he said, if it doesn't sell, what was your lowest? And I said 585 or 485, and that's 484 because I charged them extra shipping or something. I forget why I did that.
Okay.
Anyway.
And I guess the authenticity guarantee is only on cards over 200 or 250. What is that number?
That's this is going. Yeah, it's over $250. I think.
Okay, yeah. So that was a hint for anyone card guys that.
Oh, yeah, good point.
It goes right to eBay, and then eBay just on this kind of card, they just make sure the slab is not tampered. That's all they're doing.
Real quick, speaking of authenticity, so remember the Gretzky Peachy from the Pennsylvania deal? So we sold that. It was low grade, I think $800 or something. So I just got an email today from the people that authenticate it, saying that it is authentic. However, something is different from the listing. So I'm thinking my guy didn't grade it what they would grade it at.
Really?
So he put it at very good, which it had some wear and stuff. It'd probably grade out at a 3 or a 4, maybe. So they're going to tell the buyer that it's authentic. However, it may not be very good. I'm assuming it. I'll send you the email.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the first time I've had it happen. Yeah, it was a raw old Peachy Gretzky. So
that was on eBay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I've had a couple things where I've seen they grade it, or at least I've heard about it, or they put it on there where they were like hand cut or something like that. They were considered authentic, but they were slightly tampered or hand cut.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe it's a similar thing. It was, it's an authentic card, but it's been tampered with.
Yeah, just like SGC to throw an A on there or something.
Yeah.
I had a card similar, an exhibit card that they said was potentially trimmed, and it went to authenticity. They told the buyer that he said he didn't want it. Got sent back to me, and I sold it to somebody else for the same price with trimmed in the description, and it was fine. So, yeah. All right. So the last item is for the giveaway. So whoever gets closest, and you can go over. We don't play the Price is Right rules on Pastime picks. Let me share my screen. So I always choose an item. These are maybe not my highest dollars, but I choose one that you can't look up the price on.
That's good.
So it's somewhere that so there.
Oh,
so you have to. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's me. I'm like, whoa.
Ooh, that's cool.
Is that a Letterman jacket?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, a little varsity sweater, Ursinus College, Pennsylvania. This is a Mitchell and Ness brand sweater. So that they were, obviously they're known for their like throwback stuff, but they were an early sporting goods store as well.
Okay.
So 1940s, Ursinus College.
Okay, awesome. We got a guess of 484.
Wow, man.
Oh, wow. John Mull went to Ursinus. Very cool.
Oh, very cool. Wow. Okay.
484, 475 for Steve Lights.
What year is it roughly?
40s.
1940s.
40s.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 250 just because that's what I keep guessing. 250 and 115 and 150.
I went with 465. Now I'm going with 365.
It's going to hit one of these times, so I think. Yeah, these are, I don't know.
75,
cool.
295, 175, 743, and 150. We got guesses all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go a little on
the
the
size
lower
matter on this? The size matter, like if it's a small compared to an extra large or large?
It would matter. This one, I don't remember that. I don't think there was a size marking, so I just gave measurements. Let me see what I said in the title.
We got a 350 coming in as well.
Yeah, I don't think I even put a size on at least not that I can see. But I think I would say like a size large. Usually vintage clothing is going to run a lot smaller.
Okay.
And you'd be surprised. People will wear this, especially the Asian markets. They'll buy a lot of wool sweaters. They wear the vintage wool, vintage denim. So I don't think this one went there, but that's something I've sold a lot to Japan.
We got a 175. We got guesses. You're going to have to go through that chat and see who's close.
Yeah.
We're waiting on a guess.
I'm going to go with 199. I think that's my wheel.
There you go.
We had a Schmidt Auctions at 150 and Real Life 350, MNOP Payette 175. So let me get the price up here.
Suspense is killing us.
Ooh, that's close.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't think there's any question who won that one.
Yeah, Pennsylvania guy got it.
Wow.
Schmidt Auctions or lady. I don't know which Schmidt Auctions member there is, but they're the winners. So you get 2 vintage packs, sport or non-sport Schmidt Auctions, and then and you get a horse in our horse race giveaway that you again, the winner who gets the most giveaway wins over 12 weeks, $50 gift card to our eBay stores. So,
Very
Schmidt,
cool.
if you can give us your horse name, if you don't want, or I'll come up with something for you.
Yeah.
But there we go.
You ready?
Nice guess.
Right, okay, you're so smart.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We at some point we may steal that once we figure out how to work the computer. We may steal that one from.
Yeah.
Give us a couple
Yeah.
of years to figure it out.
Yeah, it's fine. It definitely gets the chat engaged a little bit, right?
Yeah, no,
You have a lively chat anyway, but
Yeah, and we on our show we have a bunch of things that pop up that kind of making fun of if you win or lose, you get a little video played for you. So
yeah, we mock each other with videos
Oh,
after
fun.
the fact.
Right up our alley.
No, I can reach out to Schmidt and I'll put you guys in touch. So no
Okay,
problem.
I actually know Schmidt too. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'll reach out on
You know
Instagram.
Marla. Yeah, you know
Yeah.
Marla. Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
So, how are your sales, Mr. Magazine?
I had to write them down this week because we're branching out. Let's go. All right. eBay has been up since the Pennsylvania deal, up 35% for the last month. So can't argue with that. Amazon's been down 15%. Websites steady Freddy. DVD sites up 10%. One that's been a little peaked lately. I'd say it's down about 20-25% right now. Whatnot. What
Good
is
like
called
that.
so
Is that
funny?
Confucius or Cornfucius?
Corn- here we go.
Cornfucius. You'll find out
Cornfucius.
why a little later in the show.
Yeah, no, yeah, I've seen it. It's great.
And lastly, the new adult site we branched out to did $1,000 in the first 7 days, so I can't argue with that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And my sales have been they've been crazy bad and crazy good. Yesterday was a really, really good day on eBay and across all venues. Today, I think I've sold 4 items with 30,000 items listed. It's been dead today. Yesterday was really, really good. It was really bad the end of last week. It was good into the weekend. So it's complete hit or miss right now on eBay. And the other sites are kind of doing the same. Let's put it this way. I do sell on Etsy. And the last few weeks on Etsy, I've been doing 8 to 10 items a week, which is good. This last week, I sold 3 items on Etsy and I sold 4 items on papergoy.com. When my own website, which I don't promote very much, is outselling Etsy, there's a little bit of a problem right over there.
Yeah.
And I did sell 1 item over on Biblio as well. So, a couple of items over on a couple of other sites. So, things are moving across, but that's kind of what you got to do is you got to have as many different sites as you can if you're doing it full time.
Yeah.
So how many sites are you actually on across all things? I know I'm only on eBay, so I'm kind of novice to this, but would you say like 5 to 10 or something?
Yeah,
Or is it...
I would say, and you are too, right? 5, the 5 to 10
5,
period.
yeah, at least 5, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So,
I mean, I primarily eBay, Etsy, and Etsy's been strong for me because I do a lot of college memorabilia, college pennants, and that stuff. Like when kids are graduating, a lot of gift givers buy that. So this is one of my busier times of year for Etsy, and eBay's been plugging along. I mean, a lot of lowball offers today for some reason, but definitely plugging along there.
you
I
know,
know
wish
you guys
we got
both
more
live stream too.
offers.
Yeah.
Any offers, better no offer.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to see some activity. You want to see that little notification, even if it's a low ball.
Yeah, you're sitting there looking, am I suspended? What's going on?
Yeah. Go shadow band or something. And you guys sell live stream too, right? Whatnot or
do whatnot. Yep.
Okay. How often do you stream a week?
I got 3 people doing it right now. Probably, let me see, 12, 14, 20, about 30 hours a week between the 3 of them.
Oh, wow.
I started late though. Paperboy's been doing it 2-3 years. I just started in last September, October. So vinyl
Okay,
records,
that's
and
impressive.
comics and stuff like a lot of records though.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked. Why 10 o'clock on Tuesdays? I've got a show all times Eastern. Then I have one at 4 o'clock Eastern as well. Then I've got 4 o'clock on Wednesday p.m. and 4 p.m. on Thursday, along with various trains. Tomorrow I have a 1 o'clock train, a $3 raid train put on by Schmidt Auctions.
Ah, cool. Is it ephemera or is it always ephemera?
Ephemera and books.
Books. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
The reason I do the books is that you do get different people in each, and books are fairly easy to pick up. A lot of people just want the books gone.
Yeah.
And at this point, I've got regular buyers that come by, and I kind of have an idea what the regular buyers want. So if you want the books gone, I know what I can buy from you cheap that I can move over there. And I'm leaving a lot of money on the table doing it that way. But what do I care? I'm moving the product, and books take up a lot of room. I don't know if you've ever noticed that or not.
Yeah, I have a mountain of books in my warehouse because I sold on Amazon books for like a year and a half, and then we had our account like close over like one of the address when we had to clarify our address or confirm our address, which we did, but they still they never accepted the confirmation and they shut our account down.
Oh my gosh.
So I have literally probably 5,000 books in a mound in my warehouse that I should start whatnotting them.
Yeah, you should. You definitely should. Yeah. People will buy them. No doubt at all about it. And the other positive thing about that is, what categories do you generally whatnot in?
I do a card show every Monday night, 10:30, and then I do sports pennants. So the memorabilia. I used to do the ephemera or the estate sale category, storage unit category. Yeah.
Well, the advantage of doing the books too is you get a whole different crowd, and hopefully a few of the book people would also be interested in sports, so you can cross-pollinate that way as well.
Yep.
My book people are coming. Hey, if you like sports stuff, put up a few sports books and mention. That would be how I would do it. Is I put a few sports books into every auction, and you see the people keep buying the sports stuff. Hey, if you like sports stuff, I've also got, and then drag them over there as well.
That makes sense. Do you just show books and do you want me to run this, or do you just run book after book?
I just run. Yeah, I do preload. I preload everything myself.
Oh, you preload. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's a good way to do it.
Pre-bids are always welcome. So,
yeah, here you go. Yeah, you got it always helps.
How about buys? You guys been buying anything?
A little bit. I had a bunch of yard sales this weekend. Some nice. Again, I have enough inventory I shouldn't be buying, but made some nice pickups. It was a rainy morning, so it was a little bit of a later start for yard selling. But I'm more of a flea market buyer typically, and the weather hasn't been great on my flea market days, so that's been pretty damp, or not damp. Well, I guess it was damp, but dry from a buying perspective.
Now, where are you guys out of? I don't think I ever asked that.
I'm a Philly suburb,
okay.
So a little south of the city.
Yeah, and I'm in between Baltimore and DC.
Okay.
So we're about an hour and a half, or maybe hour 45 minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
In terms of that, but I did go. I attempted to go to a few yard sales because they were kind of sporadically put throughout not my neighborhood, but kind of my area. And I don't know where Keith finds all these things. He finds 86 Fleer cards. He finds some random thing. It's $5,000 thing that looks like it's a a shoe. And then I don't know, he just randomly finds stuff. I go there and all I see is kids clothing or broken down toys and stuff like that. And I'm no.
An old baby seat that you couldn't use now.
Exactly. So
trust me, I see a lot of that stuff too, Andy. You just get the one out of the 30 that's good. That makes the video, right?
We did a lot of drive-by shopping. I don't think we stopped at all. I think we drove by 3 or 4 places and just didn't find anything. So
people talk about if you drive by, you see nothing but pink, you'd probably drive on if it's a little girl, selling little girl clothes. And I saw a question from John Mole in the chat. Golden Nugget. I used to go there once a month. I don't get there as often. I work early Wednesday mornings, and I know the Wednesday mornings are the big day in Lambertville. But I'll occasionally go on a Saturday morning, weather dependent. There's a good flea market near us.
Something good.
So cookbook sellers. Eric said that.
Cookbooks do sell. Cookbooks actually do sell.
Keep my eye out for some of this stuff.
Smaller test purchase, now working out the finer details by the rest of it. 12,000 postcards. Price is too good to pass up. Cool. Hey, nothing wrong with that. How about you, Mr. Magazine? You been buying anything?
Well, you would think after the Oregon deal and the Pennsylvania deal, that would be done for a while.
You would think.
No, however, I got 100. Well, local. This is a local guy, collector, adult stuff. That's my niche. But 150 banker boxes we're picking up June 11th. That's going to cost me 5 figures. Then I got Aaron's going to Florida for 6 or 7 deals. I got a deal in Florida, about 25,000 DVDs between us. He's going to go scarf them all up and drive them back home sometime next month as well. So it'll keep me busy for at least another month.
Oh, want to shout out the subscriber as well. We are talking. A subscriber actually reached out, gave me a call. There is a comic book deal up in the Northeast that we are looking at, and we're contacting the guy now, and he hasn't sent the extra pictures we've asked for, but we definitely do appreciate you guys all looking out for us out there.
Yeah, and we might be able to make it work if we strike a deal, just because Aaron's actually going to Jersey before he goes to Florida for me. He's got a couple deals in New Jersey, so he's not going to be that far away, he said. So maybe we'll make it work. I could use some more comics for whatnot. I'm running low, so we'll see. And
you guys are in New York? Is that where you're out of?
Upstate New York, yeah.
Upstate New York, okay.
Upstate New York,
cool.
Yep.
I wish we were an hour and a half away like you guys. I'm jealous.
You're closer.
Yeah, believe me, it's there's a good buffer zone between us. It's far enough that like he can't just stop by and like request my help moving stuff. Like anytime I go, like he goes sourcing and I'm along for the ride, I end up just being the guy that carries all the books back to his car. So we have to work on that, son. And I'm a little scared about if I come up this weekend, what manual labor I'll be.
Well, I could use it. And I moved this giant metal rack into my warehouse for like when I'm doing a whatnot to like just
our warehouse, right?
Sure. But I moved it in by myself. This massive metal rack. It almost fell on top of me. It would have been an embarrassing way to die.
So, Mr. Magazine here, former football player. He can bench press the Volkswagen, all that kind of stuff. Anytime we go out on a deal, I got bad hip. You got to carry it. Trust me.
I'm getting a hip replacement, my second hip replacement next after my birthday in July. Tendonitis or a torn rotator cuff. It's from working on and lifting heavy boxes at the warehouse. It adds up.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Apparently, I must do nothing and sit around all day.
These boxes have been here for a long time, years.
or I'm not a sissy. One or the other.
Hold on, Eric's crying. He needs a shout out. I don't know if you noticed, but no one's gotten a shout out.
There you go. You're an excellent helper, Andy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I went over to Springfield. I don't know. Have you ever been over to the Springfield, Ohio Antique Extravaganza?
No, but I have friends who they asked me to set up there once. Is that
about 2,000 dealers? It's about 30 minutes south of Columbus.
It's like it's not all paper, right? It's all general antiques and vintage clothing and my good friends Mojo Dojo. They have a YouTube channel. They set up over there. So I've never been there, but I want to get out there. Yeah,
they May and September are the two big ones. They have a monthly show, but you don't want to go to you're not going to make a special trip for a normal monthly show. But the extravaganzas are May and September. So we drove over there. I spent, and this is a bit of an omen, a little ominous, $666. I spent $666 over there. It's like, why did I buy one more postcard?
Yeah.
So the guy goes, I'll just throw that in. No, I want to buy it. I want to buy it.
Yeah, that's funny.
But it was a real weird show. There were tornado warnings and it rained really bad overnight. Friday night. It was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday show. Rained real bad overnight Friday night. People lost their tents. Tents got damaged and they lost them. People lost merchandise. Wow. Was buying from one lady and she actually had to be standing inside the tent, holding the top of the tent so the wind didn't blow it away. And she's trying to do deals and people are trying to come up there with money. And she's like, hold on. I think the wind's dying down. All right, that's $5. And she's trying to make change, holding on to it with one hand.
That's a risk of setting up outside. And I see my buddy was just mentioning Mojo. They were selling in Springfield. So they're in the chat as well. Thanks, Josh.
Okay. How did he end up doing over there? Just wondering that.
I don't know, because I saw his setup. It was a killer setup, but he does a lot of vintage clothing and like pop culture stuff, but it looked like an awesome setup. Yeah. Cool. I've only set up at one outdoor show ever. And it's challenging, right? When you're dealing with the weather, the wind, it's a different animal selling outside.
Oh, definitely is. Yeah, definitely is. And that there. And the plus side is not counting. I did put up a couple of auctions on whatnot out of the stuff that I bought, but I got back Sunday. So I started listing on Monday. What is today? Wednesday. I've already listed. Now I use the schedule feature on eBay. I don't just list everything right now. So I schedule out 2 weeks and 3 weeks and everything. But I've got 110 items that I bought listed already in 3 days. So we're flying through the stuff. We got about another 75 items to list.
Nice.
So
that's great.
About 185 items plus whatnot stuff for $666. So can't argue with that. We're gonna make some money. Had fun going over there and seeing various people and all that kind of stuff. The same vendors that you buy from year after year and all that.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
We will be having a haul video going up. It's actually sitting in Dropbox. I just got to have Random Neighborhood Kid come on by and do the magic that he does to get it up, because I'm looking at it going, it's sitting in Dropbox. I don't know what to do with it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside paper equals sketchy. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely on that. No doubt about that. Glitch of the week. Well, I think everybody is well aware of eBay's glitch on Thursday with the photos.
Yep.
2 or 3, 4 hours, something or other like that. Photos weren't showing up for anybody. People couldn't list. People couldn't do anything whatsoever with the photos. Did you guys notice it hitting sales at that point?
I only noticed it when I had an email from a person who I guess the package got arrived damaged, and I couldn't see the images they were trying to send me either.
Oh, you couldn't even see there.
Yeah. So it wasn't only the drafts or images and listings, but I didn't notice it until it was getting better. My buddies who I'm on the Reseller Island podcast with, they told me about it. I never even noticed it until they mentioned it. But I don't know. Did you notice that at all, Andy?
No, I mean, I honestly don't typically, I mean, occasionally I will, but I don't usually put a lot of listings up during the week, honestly, because I work a full-time job and don't get back until later anyway. So by the time I get after eating and all that stuff, I just don't really feel like doing anything. So I just kind of let it ride whatever I have up there. So I'm certainly an amateur or I don't do what you guys do for sure. I think I have a total of maybe, I don't know, 700 or 800 listings up, and you guys have like 30 to 30,000. That's just like beyond me. I could never keep all of that stuff straight, honestly.
And the positive was I was actually driving over to Springfield when everything died, and Mr. Magazine's like, "Are pictures down?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm eating lunch."
Yeah.
Don't really know. So it was a good day. Not that you ever want to have a sales slow down. But if you have a sales slowdown, you want it to be when you're gone, so you don't come back. The last thing you want is everything to be going great guns, and you come back, and instead of having 30 items to pack, you have 112 items to pack, and you're going,
"Oh yeah.
Oh, what am I going to do now?"
Yeah, especially after a long trip. Yeah.
We had a guest, Consignment Chats, on, and she had taken a week off and came back. Now she sells clothing, but it was like 120 items she had to pack up the day she came back. Yeah. I'm like, oh, and it's one-man band. Yeah, good luck to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good luck on that. The other, we noticed today we were doing a Bolo video that'll be up in a couple of weeks, and on all of the listings that we were bringing up that looked like they had a apostrophe in them, the listing read had an ampersand and then a number after it, so it would say like ampersand 34. Or something like that on every one of those. And you're wondering what exactly is glitching on that? Why is it showing up that way? And then the question that I always have on glitches like that is it affecting the buyers in any way?
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's just sold, because it seems to be on our sold items for sure.
Yeah, but we didn't really, which we should have done. I didn't actually check the active listings, but if things like that are showing up in active, is it screwing up search? Is it, who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, why do you have an error like that? And the last glitch of the week, my coffee maker, I had problems with this morning. I have a Keurig, and I was trying to brew a cup of coffee 10 times trying to brew it, and I kept restarting it. Finally, I had to unplug it. When I plugged it back in, it worked. So I guess if you're having Keurig problems, plug it back in.
Oh, I got the ones I got from the eBay. So I got 2 eBay violations this week. We picked up, 40,000 signed autographs from this New Jersey deal or Pennsylvania deal. So my manager started listing Playboy covers that were autographed. So covers only. Okay. They were torn off. And things must have changed because I've been selling Playboys for 30 years now. Anyways, I guess there's some of the issues that are common issues where someone was either underage or they don't want to be resold. So there's like 15 of them you can't sell. We didn't know it. Regardless, we got 2 violations because inside the magazine, someone is that you can't sell
under 18 years old, but supposedly. You're just selling the cover.
Yes, and they don't care. Can't sell it.
Can't sell the cover. Can't sell it.
Yeah,
that's wild.
So crazy. what if I
and they're clothing? It's a different model that was of age too. So I mean, it's just crazy.
So what if I take the Vargas print out of one of them, and they're like, "No, that's the Vargas print from January 1974. You can't sell that issue." No, I'm literally selling a print.
They're the judge and jury. It really doesn't matter. So luckily, some other seller must have found out that we got the violation, emailed us the 15 issues we can't sell, which wow. I only knew there was one from years ago, but hey,
that's helpful.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's crazy. Site changes on one account, the offer screen changed. So I've got a couple of different eBay accounts, and you know how when you go send offers to watchers, I don't know, did you notice the problem? You send offers to watchers, I assume?
Yeah.
Did you notice that about 2 weeks ago that the toggle switch was on to automatically send offers to watchers?
Oh, I didn't notice that. No.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
automatically on, and I kept turning it off because I didn't want to do that. And the reason why I don't want to do that is sit back and ask yourself, do you trust eBay not to screw that up?
Yeah, get a 90% offer sent out. Yeah,
Or not send anything at all, and you
Yeah,
never
yeah.
knowing, and you
Yeah.
never knowing they're not sending it out.
Yeah.
So I always toggle it off, and I want to do it manually. Well, 2-3 times after, every time I wanted to do it, it was toggled back on. Finally, after about 4 times of me turning it off, it finally stayed off. Well, then I went over to a different eBay site that I sell, or different eBay account that I sell on. There isn't actually a toggle switch. It's a radio button. You can click the button to say that you want to send the offers as opposed to having a toggle switch. Like, why are they wasting their time setting up 2 different offer pages? How about fixing the pictures? Crazy idea.
Probably a different division of eBay, right? There's a picture guys, and then there's a toggle guys. There's always, and they don't intermix. So maybe that's the problem.
Absolutely crazy. And the other thing that I noticed, and this could have been what caused the eBay photo problem. Have either of you listed anything in the last day or two?
Yeah, I list every day.
All right. Do you list? You list. I'm assuming you list one item and then you sell similar type deals, so you don't have to recreate everything.
I usually have a draft bank of like sell similar of my previous items that I'll put into a draft bank. Yeah.
Did you notice now up top on the pictures, because the pictures are at the top of the listing, you've got the button over on the side that you can select all. There's another button. There's another like a box you can check over on the left that you can select all to delete all. They've like changed the whole format around, but you've got 2 different things that essentially, why are you going to select all other than to delete all? So they've added an extra potential step in there. And I'm like, they're adding things like that. That's probably what caused the pictures to crash.
Yeah, yeah.
When you get down to it, they added some extra stuff for no reason.
On that note, on the Etsy, they forever they didn't have like a delete all. You had to like manually delete every photo when you're relisting on Etsy. They finally did a delete all on Etsy, which is awesome. But
can you crop on Etsy? Can you crop pictures?
I never try. I crop everything before I list it, before I upload it. But I know you can on eBay, but I don't
think you can on Etsy. I'm trying to find the crop button on there and I can't find it. I go, what about the crop?
Real quick, speaking of the sell similar, my IT guy is looking into that issue we had years ago, experimenting with it.
Right.
If we did do sell similar, the whole 200,000 listings.
Sell similar.
Yeah, it'd be 20 grand. Is that what it would be?
Yeah.
So I told him don't touch anything till I clear that. Yeah, because we're only going to do certain ones if we can do it. Maybe the highest price one.
Yeah, if you do,
crazy.
I don't know if you do and sell similar or not, but it counts against your listings because they're all brand new listings.
Oh yeah, I don't do that at all. I know a lot of resellers live by that, but I've never done it.
Time it was a nightmare with like all my higher price items like a couple years ago, and then we relisted them. Hey, we had double listings. It was a complete nightmare.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
and I'm sure you've seen now when you're printing postage, the big warning about the upcoming Canada postal strike and what they will and won't let ship out and all that. You have to click transform instead of adjust. Nice. Because of course that's what logically I would do. I wouldn't click something called crop.
So how will the I only ship to Canada via the eBay global shipping. So is that's still going to be handled on eBay's end, or you know how it's going to work out?
They claim that you're going to be able to do it. However, I did have a buyer from Canada reach out to me and say, "Why won't you ship to Canada?" And I'm like, "I'll ship to Canada. You know, I haven't changed any of my settings." And then I was actually talking to Auction Professor, and he had to cancel his sale to Canada as well. So even though they're saying that you can still use the eBay standard in order to ship up there, apparently they're screwing around some of the settings in there as well because he couldn't ship something out that way to the Canadian buyer. My Canadian buyer potentially couldn't even see shipping to Canada.
Oh wow!
And then of course he's yelling at me. Why aren't you able to? I'm using eBay standard. I don't know.
Something popped up, I think, for my shipping, but it just said that there could be delays and stuff like that. But I didn't see that it didn't say that it couldn't. So something is going up there. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I thought the last time it would go to eBay, and then eBay used different, like not the Canadian Post Office, but DHL or whatever.
Yeah. And we're gonna head on into a fun little thing over here, if you don't mind. About time we had some fun. I've got a couple of items of the week, and I want you guys to guess what these things are worth. You ready?
All right.
And they're all sports oriented too. I'm not going to throw anything at you that isn't.
Pressure here.
Cracker Jack. This or not? Cracker Jacks, 3 packs, that had the 1915 Cracker Jack replica cards in there.
Interesting. All right. Is that from 90s or what year is that from?
Yeah, like 91 or something other like that.
Yeah, I remember how those used to open. Like you had to stick your finger right. Like
right there.
Yeah, there you go.
I may just do that right now. See what cards are in here. So we got three unopened packs of the Cracker Jacks, and they were supposed to be the 3-pack together. That's why they got the little tape on top. And the reason I know is because they put the UPC over the top of the tape. So that's how they did to package it this way.
I'll say I've never seen that. I've seen the cards, the throwback, like the replica Nap, Lajoie, and everyone else. And we're guessing value.
Yeah,
value. I would say $25.
Yeah, I would go a little. I think I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to go like 30, 34. That probably.
I was going to say 10 a piece, like 30.
Yeah,
so
that's you're all right in the ballpark. They're about 10, 5 to 15 a piece. So depending on. So the 3-pack is $30 to $40.
We each win one.
Eat it. But I picked this up for $5 over at a flea market. So
nice.
There you go. Decent little deal on that.
Let me guess.
Well, I'm making hungry one day.
That probably lasts forever, right? There's so much
that's
preservatives in there. They probably
it's all a big, hard, nasty thing in there.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what I don't know the value of. Maybe you guys, and I do not believe the tag on it. They had a tag on here said $10 1960s, but I think this is probably 1970s. But you guys would know better than me.
Yeah, early 70s mini pennant.
It's not the Bazooka though, right?
No, I don't think Bazooka made NFL pennants. I don't think they did a lot of MLB ones.
No, I paid $1. It was priced at $10. The dealer had it priced at $10 and then threw it out for $1. So I paid it. I paid 50 cents. I paid 50 cents for it.
That was a good buy. Yeah, definitely 70s. I mean, they were around in the late 60s, right? But that logo, I would say, I would put it up for $15 plus shipping. So probably like $17.99, $18.99 shipped.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we had $12 to $15. I think when sold.
All right, we got 2 more if you guys don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow, 4th one.
Hey, I've been picking up. I knew these guys were coming on, so I was prepared. I was prepared for you guys. So I bought these over at an estate sale.
Mini bats, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Just the sound, Andy. That was.
Yeah. Kansas City Athletics. You've got who else you got in there? You got the Twins. You got the Senators. You got the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Indians, White Sox. So what do you guys know about these?
If I recall, Keith, maybe I'm wrong. Some of these came in bat holders too, right?
I have a lot of them in the warehouse. Yeah, I have a lot of them. They're usually red
ones.
Yeah, red plastic holders. It's better to have the holder, but that sounds like it's almost a complete league or maybe the American League. Sounds like. You said Kansas City Athletics.
There's a ton of them.
I actually sold one of them this week, but mine was early 70s. Yours is gonna be a little bit earlier. It sounds like maybe late 60s. I would say probably $30 for the set.
All right, then I overpaid because I was paying $5 a piece on them.
All right, well, probably if you break them down and sell them individually.
Yeah, because I had the red one. I had a red one. I think I had both red ones, and I didn't get as much as I thought. I thought they'd be 50 a piece. I think I only got about $25-30 each.
Yeah, I sold mine for 24, but mine was a little bit later. But probably if you sell them individually, you get somebody who's trying to complete the set, and you'll get a little bit premium on it.
Yeah, and again, I haven't seen those things for years. I had one when I was a kid, and I'd forgotten they existed. And I was at an estate sale, and I saw them, and I said, "Oh, those are really cool. We're gonna put them in the collection. Why not on that?" They go on $50 with the stand.
Yep. There you go. Mark knows his stuff. He's a
might be able to get the stand on eBay, right? Just as a and then kind of compile it.
I might have an extra stand too, because I had a box that had nothing but those things in them, and they all were falling out of their stands. I spent like hours, maybe not hours, put them together.
All right, and then the last item we have, it's gonna be a little hard to see, but
very cool.
I don't know if you remember that game or not.
I've seen it before. Is that like Kudeko or?
Yep.
Okay.
But then it's also got the cards inside of it, which I'm sure you've seen these cards, and that's how you kind of can date it by who the cards are on here as well.
Yeah.
And there's a Joe DiMaggio in here.
There you go.
Among other players, Hoot Evers and Willie Jones. Now this was sitting. Now the box is kind of beat, but it was sitting in the bottom at an estate sale, bottom of a closet with a bunch of games, tons of games. It was an old antique dealer that was having an estate sale, and these were sitting in there, and all games were $5 a piece.
Wow.
Nice.
And the DiMaggio is about $15 by itself.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
You get into like the Hoot Evers are probably on, Roy Campanella right there.
That's
Okay.
good.
So
I would have guessed. Yeah, I would guess for the whole thing like $50 or something. Somewhere would that be where you're at? 'Cause
I
know
think so.
we have a couple. I have a couple boxes of games that maybe vintage that, and I'm sure some games are kind of more desired than others. But
39.
that's what I would.
Yeah, Mark knows his stuff, so I would believe Mark. To me, I dread selling games like that just for the shipping aspect. But if you're gonna, what do they say, when in doubt, part it out. If you can pull that DiMaggio card out and get a good premium on it,
DiMaggio would sell, the Roy Campanella would sell,
Yeah.
obviously all that kind of stuff.
Well, I hate the research time, like making sure it's complete, like how many cards are there, how many are supposed to be there.
That scares me too. On some of the stuff that we bought together at a garage, they're like, "Is it a complete set?" I'm like, "Dude, I was not born in the '40s. I don't know if this thing is, has all the pieces."
We'll show you a bunch of photos and you determine that.
Exactly.
Or puzzles, puzzles are great.
Puzzles, yeah.
You have to make it before shipping it.
Yeah.
Hey, we want to break up the resale a little bit. I know you guys have a fun little game that you guys play over on your channel.
Yeah, so every week we draft a sport or non-sport topic. Like last week we drafted toys from the favorite toys from every decade, and we go back and forth and we intersperse that within the reselling talk. But I know me and Paper Goya talked about like doing not even this a draft, but just talking about like
people you'd want to have,
interesting people from history you like to share a beer or share a coffee with, depending on your beverage of choice. So Andy, what did you come up with down there? What did you
I mean, I take this very seriously, as you can tell, but not true. But I do beat Keith very often this because of my seriousness, I think. So I kind of broke it down into like a couple different things. Like I wanted to have somebody that's like really smart. I wanted to have somebody that I think is really funny or like entertaining. And then I wanted to have who was my third? And then I wanted to have like some type of musician. So I mean, I'm just throwing all my cards out on the table. So, but I'll go. And I guess we're going with kind of musicians, or we're going with people that are no longer with us. So that's about the extent of how historical. So I kind of went with Jim Morrison was like my musician guy that I thought would be really cool. Not only is he a great musician and everything, but kind of a weird like existential guy that like always thinks outside the box. I think he'd be a fun hangout with. That would be my first guy
if you lived.
Right. Yeah, I'm not saying that we do everything that he does. And also I want to stress this too, that he like if they're coming to hang out with me, they have to answer all my questions. Like
obviously.
They can't be like
Right. And I think the other thing we could all put, I think we all agree as a basic ground rule, say, and this isn't my choice, but say I took Genghis Khan. Well, he probably doesn't speak English. So in this magical little world, they can understand you and you can understand.
I mean, you don't want Genghis marauding through your neighborhood either. So he's got to behave himself, I think. So all these
he was pretty good in with the
Bill and Ted's.
Bill and Ted's. Yeah, he behaved himself.
Yeah.
You can't chop my head off in the middle of my talking to him.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want me to go through all three, or do you want to go?
No, I guess we can. I'll go. I went more storytellers. I just want to sit there and drink and be told stories, right? From like people who've experienced a lot of stuff. So I went Teddy Roosevelt. I mean, the guy, obviously a Rough Rider, legend in that sense, president, but also, I mean, not many people at that time period would just take up and get on a boat and explore the Amazon and almost die in the Amazon. So the dude did a little bit of everything in his life. So that'd be a fun one just to sit back and have him tell me about his Amazon adventure where he almost died.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mr. Magazine.
So they got to be deceased?
Yeah.
Deceased. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't pick my mom.
Well, I was going to say, Evan Smith was my idol growing up, so I would definitely want to talk to him. But since we got on music, Neil Peart would be my guy, I think. I would love to talk to him. I don't want to get political because there's a guy I would choose, but music wise, it would be definitely Neil Peart. Yeah, I was a drummer. I always wanted the big drum set, and I loved Rush and went to their concerts. So I think that would be cool to see, some of his stories behind stage and stuff like that. Yeah,
certainly widely considered one of the best drummers of all time, right? He was
absolutely.
certainly up there. At least rock drummers for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say though, I'd be okay if you wanted to take Emmett Smith because they're sort of a dead franchise, right? So
Very true.
just kidding.
Very true. No, I can't disagree with that.
How can you say anything bad about the Cardinals?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I didn't disagree with the Cardinals. My apologies.
Sure.
Yeah, that was just a friendly stab there at a Cowboys fan.
I'm gonna go with the twofer here because I am the snake of the snake draft over here.
There we go.
My first pick would be, and I have one question for him, would be Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
Did you do it?
Mhm.
What did you know? What happened? I think that would be my number one question. And then I'd be running a tell-all book and making a circuit. And on the musician theme, I think my pick would be Charlie Watts. Because you get right down to it. I don't know if you guys saw the auction of his books or not, but he was addicted to heroin. That was his vice. But other than that, when they flew into town and Keith did whatever Keith did and Mick was chasing all the ladies, he was going out to the old bookstores to find books. And he was basically a jazz drummer, essentially, that looked at the Rolling Stones as his job. And he didn't take all accounts, faithful to his wife, all that. He was there to play the drums and was more of a refined gentleman in that whole thing. So I think he'd be fascinating to sit down and talk to, because everybody else is the whole whirlwind of the rock and roll lifestyle. And he's like, oh yes, where's the bookstore?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
he had like a first editions of Sherlock Holmes, first editions of Agatha Christie, $100,000 books. That was what he was doing. So I think he'd be an interesting person to sit down and have a coffee with.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes. Geddy Lee getting back. If I did a two for Geddy Lee, I didn't even know he collected autographed baseballs.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. He has like
crazy edition.
Yeah, massive collection.
Is that your second pick? And then you would get the
two
of them.
I would be the expert. Yeah, for sure.
Well, back to your Lee Harvey Oswald. That was one of my like fourth categories that I didn't probably won't end up picking, but was like secrets, right? I want to know like but then I was talking to my girlfriend. We were taking a walk, and I was like, "What are the secrets I really want to know about?" And like, certainly JFK would be one of them, and things like that. But I couldn't
for your second one, Hoffa.
But then I was like, "Well, I got to think of. I don't want to steal anybody, but like, I got to." And I don't want to take yours, Keith. And I'm not going to take this person, but just like somebody that like within the NSA or some type of secret organization that knows all of this stuff. But I couldn't figure out who it would be. So anyway, I didn't go that route.
Yeah, the Lee Harvey Oswald's awesome. Awesome, unless he didn't do it, then you're left with no answers, right? Like,
what happened? I was picking up out of the library, and next thing I know,
I'm literally a patsy, so I can't tell you anything. You're like, oh, you're boring. Get away.
Wasted my pick on you.
Paperboy wrote him down. If he had a third pick, it would have been Epstein. That's not,
that would have been a good pick. Actually, I might have been Keith's pick there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Might put you in a little danger, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Vintage. Your pick next.
Oh, did you pick?
No, I didn't pick. I didn't pick anybody.
Well, you were your pick next, and then him because we're going snake.
Okay. Oh, me. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I would go. I'm gonna go to the sports realm. I'm gonna go with the guy I used to collect a lot of memorabilia from. I'm gonna go Jim Thorpe. I mean, one of the greatest athletes of all time, but also he was. I mean, if you guys know the history of the Carlisle Indian School, I mean, super interesting history there, where like the U.S. government would go to Indian tribes and say, hey, send us your children to these schools. We'll educate them so you could better negotiate with the white man in terms of down the future. They would be able to communicate with us. But it was all a ruse. They were trying to like just take these children and sort of get the Indian out of the children and make them Americanized. And Jim Thorpe was one of those kids, and he actually ran away from the school, tried to go back to Oklahoma, but then ended up staying and becoming one of the greatest athletes of all time. So
cool.
It'd be an interesting person to talk to.
Yeah, good one.
And two for King of Penance.
Yeah, this is tough. I'm trying to think. All right, I think I'm gonna go with Da Vinci. Like he was just like a man. He kind of really knew everything about everything. Yeah. And was a artist and philosopher, everything you'd want to kind of speak with at your table. So or have a beer with. I don't even know if he drank beer. Maybe he didn't. I'm not sure what they did back then.
You get up the coffee with them then, or the wine,
exactly.
vino, a little bit of
probably the vino for sure. And so let's see. I'm trying to think. I said
I thought Eric was going to say Marilyn Monroe and Molly.
It's good.
I certainly have others in that vein, but I'm going to go with somebody that's kind of going to be fun and kind of like, you know, the comedy kind of my group. And I'm going to go with George Carlin. So, so he's, you know, just kind of a very interesting person. His views were really kind of ahead of his time. You could also do like Lenny Bruce and stuff too. I don't really know Lenny Bruce very well, but George Carlin, I think, was really at the kind of the tail, I guess, the beginning of when I started to sort of watch comedy. So he's kind of like,
that's a good pick.
Cool,
though,
very cool. Yeah,
good dude.
Over to you,
So
Bennett.
you're going with these people who would be at the table together. I was just going on single dates with these people. You want like you're trying to form like a
dinner party. Yeah, I'm gonna have a dinner party.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good way to look at it.
There you go.
All right, I want another storyteller. Is it back to me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I would go another storyteller, and I've read about the this expedition, but I'm gonna go Meriwether Lewis. I mean, just exploring the unexplored parts of the country and dealing with Native American. A lot of them.
You don't get Clark either. You don't get him.
No, I'm just taking Meriwether. I don't need Clark. That's what I'm going with. Pretty interesting journey they went on for sure.
Oh yeah,
cool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Go ahead, Mr. Magazine. Your last pick.
Oh, that's it. Oh, jeez.
Put you on the spot, don't we?
It really is. I guess Mantle. I'd love to hear his stories. You know, it was my dad's idol. I liked him growing up too, and collected him and stuff. So
he could probably handle some drinks with you too. He'd probably be the last one standing. So
yeah, for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, for sure.
So my last pick, I'm torn between two people. I would think I would absolutely love sitting down, and I'm going to throw a name out here that nobody's going to know who he is, but he's absolutely dry sense of humor, brilliant. Was Dick Cavett. I don't know if you remember Dick Cavett or not.
Yeah, he had
absolutely brilliant, dry sense of humor. I think I would end up inviting him. First, I would put out feelers for DB Cooper and see who shows up. With any luck, it's Dick Cavett. Then I killed two birds with one stone, and I've got a great story. So, either way,
that's true. I mean, DB Cooper is great. That'd be. I mean, I guess you could say DB Cooper because whoever it is, that's the guy, right?
Yeah, whoever shows up, I'm just
is the person, right? Yeah, exactly. So,
Dad, what are you doing here?
Yes. Well, they found a lot of stuff, right? Didn't they? Aren't they like honing in on somebody?
Yeah, they're honing in on him, and they're finding various things here and there. Because of course he jumped out in the middle of the woods, kind of deal, and then they find stuff every once in a while, and they're tracing it back and everything. But yeah, crazy story if you've ever read about him.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so I'll have a camera crew there and everything, and hopefully it doesn't turn out like Geraldo's vault or El Capone's vault with Geraldo.
Yeah, that was awesome back in the day until the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's so excited, and then okay, we found a shoe. I don't think it's Al Capone's, but it is a shoe. It's like, okay.
I'd like to watch that again to see the disappointment in Geraldo's face. Right?
He was always over the top on stuff. That was part of his thing too.
Nowadays they got the ultrasound machine, so forget it. They won't even be fun anymore.
Yeah.
And speaking of Al Capone, we're going to jump ahead a little bit over here. I don't know if you saw what was going up for auction. Al Capone's pocket watch. Did you see that was going up for auction?
No, I didn't see that.
It sold for $125,000 in I think 2021. It's going back up to auction. They're expecting it to sell for $90,000 this time.
Oh wow!
Oof.
It's missing the minute hand, but it's a Patek that he went and had the jeweler on the back of it put his initials AC in diamonds.
Wow.
Oh wow!
So he blinged it out in 1930. Wow. So that would be a really interesting thing to buy. My question, I guess, and I don't know enough about vintage watches. By enough, I mean nothing about vintage watches. But my question is, why hasn't somebody gotten repaired to put a minute hand back on it? I don't know on that over there, unless who knows.
I am a bit of a watch collector too myself. I do a little more. I do have some vintage ones, but I don't have a ton. I think really the story behind the watch is, I think, more important than the thing actually working or anything like that. So you get a lot of watches out there that they don't want repaired or shined up or anything like that because they want to really have the original patina or the fact that it's not been touched by other hands, really.
Okay.
I think that's a lot of times you'll see that. There's something called the it's a Daytona watch that's sold for, I don't know, I think it was $20 or $30 million. It's the it's not Robert Redford, but it's
Steve McQueen.
No, it's not. I don't think it's McQueen, but it's I'm
somebody like that.
Yeah.
So, somebody that none of us chose to have dinner with.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But I mean, they oftentimes, I think, just because of the history behind it, they don't really touch it. Okay. But I mean, a Patek Philippe is obviously a really, really high end watch. They go for hundreds of thousands of dollars today, in the new ones. So the pocket watches, I think, because they're a little bigger and less collectible, I think more people had them.
I know a couple of people don't own Patek.
Yeah. Did you say he bought it for 125 and it's estimated to sell for 90?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a 4-year, $35,000 loss.
35,000, like 5 years, 4 years.
COVID maybe?
It must have been. Yeah, it must have been peak during the COVID. Yep.
Yeah.
There were a lot of COVID millionaires back then when they were doing all the Bitcoin and all that stuff. So that there was a time that you could not, these watches, Rolex watches, were going for twice what the retail price was.
I'm going to tell you right now that NFTs, now's the time to get in on them.
Might be in the but that's cool. I didn't even know. I didn't hear about that.
Oh, guess what? I almost skipped the Confucius joke of the week.
I thought we're missing it because the time was running out.
I almost forgot this. So short one today. Confucius joke of the week. Confucius say, chorus girl cut quite a figure when she sat down on broken bottle. Chorus girl, see?
You got to say it twice for those.
Chorus girl, quite a figure when she sat down on broken bottle. Stop by at any of my whatnot auctions. 20 past the hour. You'll get another Confucius joke of the day.
I like it. We need it. That's what we need is a joke.
Well, you're pretty much Confucius anyway, Andy, just without the moniker.
That's true. That's true.
Couple of other things going on. I finally got my Pennsylvania sales tax number.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys heard the hoops I had to jump through to get that.
Mm-mm.
You go on the website and they tell you to sign up for a MyPath account, but you can't sign up for a MyPath account until you have a sales tax number. Well, I went on, somebody on Reddit had said, call this number. So I called the number, lady answered it. 5 seconds. She's like, no, you got to go down there, click register. Oh, okay. So I was able to get it all up that way over there because the site doesn't really walk you through how to do it. But here's the crazy thing about it, which you probably don't know because you're from Pennsylvania. I got a out-of-state vendor license, transient vendor or something like that is the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
I have to send Pennsylvania notification in writing, not online, in writing, 1 month before any show that I go to in Pennsylvania.
That's crazy.
I had similar issues with Ohio State, or not the Ohio State website. Their websites are like so antiquated, and when they update them, there's no updates. I mean, they're terrible. And I've used the Pennsylvania one myself.
I'm just wondering what happens if you send it 29 days in advance. Is it the postmark? What if I send it 2 months in advance? Like, I know what show I'm going to. I'm going to Allentown. I can send them a letter today.
I would imagine the percentage of people who do that are zero, right? I mean, if they get the payment, if they get their sales tax remitted to them after the show, I mean, they probably don't care what you're doing as long as they get paid.
Well,
right?
The other thing that scared me was I went on their website. I was doing some research on Pennsylvania sales tax. And I love this. If you set up and were supposed to have charged sales tax and did not do so, they have the right to take all of your inventory and the vehicle that you transported the inventory in. So I was thinking of flying up there.
That's gonna do a rental car. Right, let the rental car fight it out with the state.
I'm thinking flying and then getting a rental car and going, I brought it on that plane. I think you better sell this plane.
That's crazy.
I can tell you it will take them at least 2 months to process your submission. There you go. So
yeah,
crazy on that. This one I thought was interesting. We were talking about guessing values. So a guy found an unopened, over 100-year bottle of Coca-Cola at an upstate New York antique store. They wanted $100 on it.
Wow.
He left, talking to people about it. Oh, you should buy that. That's really valuable. It's unopened. It's 100 years old. So he went back to the antique store a year later, and it was still there.
Oh my God.
He offered them $75 and they took it. So now he owns this bottle. He went on an antique roadshow and the experts had no idea what it's worth. The Coca-Cola Museum, their oldest Coca-Cola bottle is not that old. The oldest one in the Coca-Cola Museum is not that old, but the experts are guessing it's worth about $500. I'm saying that seems really low.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it probably actually does have trace amounts of cocaine in it too, right? Didn't that was part of that? Was
wouldn't it be funny if the DEA busted them?
Yeah.
Sorry, sir, you're gonna have to pour that out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Andy, next Whatnot stream we do from the warehouse, I have a bottle of like 60-year-old Howdy Doody grape juice that's sealed.
You can drink it.
No, we say if anyone bids over $100, Andy will drink that bottle.
I don't think so.
We got to do a search on eBay. Coca-Cola bottle sold ended and see highest price. It's got to be more. Something's got to be more than $500.
Yeah, it seems like for the oldest known unopened bottle of Coca-Cola should be worth more than $500. I mean, you would think the bottle alone's got to be worth some money.
I think you try to deal directly with Coca-Cola, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Something or other like that. Oh, do you guys TV watchers, movie watchers, readers? What are you guys, if I could ask?
A little bit of all that.
Yeah, I don't read a whole lot, but
audiobooks,
podcasts, things like that. We do watch some YouTube. I watch some TV shows and stuff. I don't go out to the movies often, though. I will say that.
Yeah.
Well, did you see the Chicago Sun-Times? What happened with them yesterday?
No.
So they published a summer reading list for books you go to the beach, all that kind of stuff. 15 books you absolutely need to buy. One of them, which is The Rainmakers by Percival Elliott. Now, it's set in the near future of America where artificially induced rain has become a luxury commodity. So it's one of those stories about the environment, yada, yada, yada.
Dystopian kind of.
Post-apocalyptic.
There's only one problem. 10 of the 15 books don't exist. AI wrote the article and made books up. So 10 of the 15 books don't even exist.
How they even get 5 right?
You gotta write those books right now. You just gotta make up a book.
There's a market there.
Yeah.
So is the AI suing someone when they steal their idea?
Yeah, right.
So it's a big now. Who's at fault? The newspaper's saying, well, it's not us. We contracted the article to King Features, and King Features is saying, it's not us. We hired this author. And the author's going, yeah, I kind of did use some AI, but
that's funny.
Crazy.
Yeah. So here's the scary part about it, though, is we're all going down that path. And eBay and Amazon and all those places are heavily pushing AI. And AI is going to do this and this and this. It's wonderful. And I don't know if you saw the show we had on about a year and a half ago, about the lawyer who got busted using AI to write his brief because AI just made up legal cases.
Oh, wow.
So AI basically was like, precedent was set in the case of Leone versus Vintage Sports Flips 1998. There was no such case. AI just made it up and it ended up in there.
Man, you can't trust AI. It's just
we use it a lot in my job to not to create stuff. If we have an existing document or something like that, we either use AI to pull stuff out of that document or to like kind of alter what we've already written to make it sound a little better or something like that. But yeah, I would not trust AI in a lot of sources, a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 out of 15 are made up. That's a pretty good percentage of just made up. I can see, 10 out of 15.
That's crazy.
Article over there. And did you see what's going on with refunds over on Amazon?
Nope.
Apparently, they've had a problem where you bought something or other off Amazon. Mm-hmm. And you can use the third parties to return it. Yeah, I don't know, Kohl's or whatever. You can return it. You bring it to Kohl's, and it gets sent back to them. Well, it didn't always get back to them. it got stolen somewhere along the line. It never got logged in at the Amazon warehouse. So they didn't want to give a refund until they got the item back. Obviously, they wanted to make sure that, if I said that it was Timberland boots, that I was sending them back Timberland boots and I wasn't sending them back an empty box. Well, they are now giving refunds because they got sued over that back to 2018. So if you return something from 2018 on and you never got a refund from Amazon because they claim they never got it, you're probably going to get some money handed back to you because, and they claim it has nothing to do with the lawsuit, of course. They just suddenly, out of the goodness of their heart, saw some problems going on and they wanted to help the customers out, and they're giving the money back, and it has nothing to do with the lawsuit. So
of course.
That was darn nice of them to suddenly do that right now.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had an Amazon truck run into my light post in my retaining wall in my driveway, and they didn't happily give any money over for that. They had to file appeals, and so still haven't taken care of that. So
now, are you aware, was it an Amazon or was it a third-party contractor?
Well, it was an Amazon truck, but I don't know if it's, do the third parties use like the Amazon vans?
Yeah, yep. They use the branded trucks. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know who did it. They didn't stop. We saw them hit it and then take off. So they didn't and the problem is there's no video camera evidence of them doing it. So that area of the driveway doesn't have camera coverage. So it's all right.
If you want to have some, well, I was going to say fun, but it's actually not fun whatsoever. Do some reading on the exposés of the third-party delivery companies that work with Amazon. They're not making any money whatsoever. They're really not. They're working off of volume. But if anything happens to the trucks, Amazon charges them for repairs. Amazon charges them for this, for that, for this, for that. And the other problem, according to these exposés, is you start building the business up and Amazon suddenly takes the root away from you, but you're already renting the trucks.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. So you're doing all of this work on hoping that if everything goes right, you put $100,000 in your pocket. But there's so many things that go wrong potentially that some of these guys that, own the businesses are working for $30,000, $40,000 a year with all those headaches.
I love Amazon because not many places. 10 years ago, could you have just ordered a part for your computer and have it the next morning, right? That's insane. That can happen, but yeah, they are pretty big for their britches, and if as a seller on Amazon, your account can just vanish. Yes. In the blink of an eye. So you definitely got to have all your eggs in assorted baskets in that regard.
Oh, was that the problem you were saying over on Amazon? Was that thing where they require the federal government act that you had to give all your address and your name and your this and your that, all that?
I think so. I think it was relating to that. And we did it several times. Yeah. We did it several times. It just, even though we did it, it would show that it didn't happen. And we called them, we talked to customer service. They said, "Oh yeah, it's in there," but then they still shut the account down. So it was like a glitch or something, but yeah, it was a mess.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
All right, we're heading on. We're just past an hour now. So any final words for you guys?
I'll let you go first, Sandy.
Not too much. I'm just along with Keith for the ride. I'm not. Keith has all the YouTube channels and stuff like that. So I'm just the comic interlude for all of Keith's stuff. And
we can talk about Rips and Brews, Sandy. That's our project. That's project together.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, I forgot we have Rips and Brews. But Rips and Brews. We do a live every month with two other of our good friends. Soda City Flips /Rips and a Real Life Perspective show where we rip a box usually, or sometimes it's sports, sometimes it's non-sports. Most of the stuff I do is sports, but we have a good variety of packs that we rip. In fact, last week, which was incredible, one of the coolest things I think I've seen, one of our good friends, Real Life, ripped a pack of Stranger Things, and he pulled an auto of Millie Bobby Brown, the 11 from that show.
Yeah.
It was incredible. It was the coolest thing I think I've ever seen picked. So anyway, we do that. We open boxes and then we kind of drink a beer and we kind of rate the beer and kind of talk about that. But most of the time it's just a big hangout.
Oh,
it's a 3-hour live show. Just hang out, the chat. Yeah, it's a cool time.
Now, we do a lot of, I'm sorry, go ahead.
How do you know who wins? Like if you're ripping packs of ET?
Yeah, we're all together on this one, right? So we're not.
Yes, that's not competition. Everything else me and Andy do in life is competition. This is just
Pretty
a fun
yeah.
root each other on, right?
Yeah.
So
except for that one time that Keith tried to jump in on a box that I bought that had the Drake May, and he's like, "Oh, we're sharing that, right?" He's like, "No, you didn't want it. You didn't buy in." So
I should have just shared it. I think it is your heart. It was in my house.
Sure.
But so that's a fun time. That Millie B card is I put a short out on Rips and Brews today for that. You can see that card be pulled.
Yeah, super
in our reaction.
Yeah.
And my channel, Vintage Sport Flips, I put out a picking video every Saturday, 1:00. Usually flea market videos, yard sale. This past one was setting up at the Philly Vintage Flea, which is a clothing show in Philadelphia. So I sort of documented the setting up at that show. I'll do one for the paper show soon. I still have a lot of footage to go through. But and then we have our live. You guys start at 7:30. We start at 8. So when you guys, if anyone's from $1 Million Peddlars, when they finish up, roll on over to Vintage Sport Flips, and we'll still be going. We usually go an hour and a half or so. And
probably right in time to try to get a horse, right? I would say.
Probably not, because we do that pretty early, Andy, right?
No,
we do that.
Right.
It's like 15, 20 minutes in.
That's true.
Maybe it depends on how much we meander in the beginning. But yeah. So, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, you can, and I sell on Whatnot Monday nights, and then random other times, and District, which is a new live streaming app similar to Whatnot. My opinion, better than Whatnot with some of the things District can do. It's like co-streaming, for example. I don't know if you guys co-stream at all on Whatnot.
No, I haven't done it.
Yeah, so on Whatnot, if you co-stream, you basically, if you guys co-stream together, all the money goes to the main.
Right. Yeah.
But on Dibdit or District, when you co-stream, it's like, when I sell something, it comes to me. When my buddy sells something, it goes to him.
Okay.
I think Whatnot's going to try to do that. It's a great thing that District does, but
it's almost always my money that's going to him too. I buy most of the stuff. I buy a lot of stuff from you guys on District.
Today you did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm on Dibdit, Don. Dibdit cards, Dibdit threads. I sold on both today. I'll be on regular Dibdit tomorrow. That's the channel of the Trash to Cash podcast. You guys familiar with them at all?
Yeah.
So that's the District marketplace owned by Trash to Cash guys. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing a card break there on Friday. So yeah, that's get a lot going on.
And all the vintage sports flip people, if you're watching this or if you're watching this in a replay, definitely do stop by if you could. $1 Million Peddlars. We're putting out 3 videos a week plus the live. Tuesdays, I have a top 10. So it's a different item that I go into this past week. As a matter of fact, was the top 10 Indianapolis 500 items that sold on eBay over the last 15 or 30 days, whatever the period of time is. I've done top 10 Coca-Cola items. There was no unopened bottle from the 1920s. So I do various top 10 things there. Every Thursday, we have a studio show where Mr. Magazine and I talk about a topic. We just shot one right before we came on with you guys that I think was a really interesting one. And in it, we're talking about, and I'm sure I'll give a little bit of a preview of it. I'm sure in sports items, older sports items, how long have you been selling vintage?
About 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Think back to when you first started, and I'm going to speak for you. You probably didn't know what you were doing, or certainly not to the level you do now.
No.
And there was something that you bought, because when you buy not knowing what you're doing, it's just shotgun approach. It just is.
Yep.
And so there was something that you bought that you listed that didn't sell. And you're like, this is, whether it's a mesh hat, whether it's a pennant, whether it's something, this is junk. I'm not going to deal in this. And you found the trophies that sell, or you found this that sells. I'm kind of talking about, you need to revisit that, because you're right. What you tried to sell didn't sell because it was junk, and every category has junk. And as I said on the show, that's like me not selling sports cards, because the first pile of sports cards I bought were 1991 Fleer Commons and they didn't sell. So now I'm going, sports cards are junk. Well, there's a little bit of a difference between a pile of 91 Fleer Commons and a Babe Ruth rookie card. There's a bit of a difference between the two.
Yeah. So you're going to keep your mind open for sure when you're a reseller, right? You explore new avenues.
You can't just put something. Now there might be something like a Beanie Baby that maybe is just junk, but 99% of items, there's good and there's bad. And what are you going to find? You're going to find the bad if you don't know what you're doing. Now, our job, of course, is to go through and find the good. And you go to the flea market. If I went to whatever garage sale that you went to, and I bought them out, 90% of the stuff I buy from them is junk.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, there's going to be some treasures in there. Well, you got to focus on the treasures, and that's where you get. But I can't just write off microwave ovens are junk because I bought a broken one at a flea market one time and I couldn't sell it. Well, broken flea market or broken microwaves aren't very good. And then every Saturday we have a Bolo video as well, which is we go through the prior week's eBay sales with a little bit of a talk about them and why they're special and what you can look for out there and why this sold for this price. Or sometimes the Bolo videos don't be on the lookout for, which I think is just as valuable. A lot of times, this looks cool. People are going to be asking $10 for it out at the flea market. Don't buy it because I sold it for 12 on eBay. You're going to lose money if you pay $10 at the flea market for it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think that information is just as important to have out there. But I think a lot of other channels, they want to put, I paid $10 for this and I sold it for $1,000. Yeah, great. But I just saved you $10 because you didn't buy something for 10 that you're going to sell for 12 that you're going to lose money on. So there's kind of a flip side to it as well. So we're trying to educate as well. So, and Mr. Magazine does sell over on Whatnot regularly as well, as do I. So do check us out on Papergoy over there. And you got like 18 different names over there.
Mr. Magazine and then Leone's Collectibles.
Except you spell Mr. Magazine out there.
I had to.
Make it so tough.
I did hire a guy he worked for We the Hobby. And he was probably in his 20s, but they let him go. So we were going to do cards on Whatnot, just cheaper cards, like $2 to $20, and it seemed to be an epic fail. So I don't know if it was the time of the day he was doing it, but maybe I'll reach out to you later and you can give me some pointers on what you suggest.
Sure, absolutely. And it's funny. I was on Whatnot earlier today, and I was in a clothing stream, and I swiped up, and I think you were selling records this morning.
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't know I even followed you. And I'm like, that's the guy I'm going to be on with tonight. It was sort of a funny small world that,
I think Frank did it in the morning till 2. And then my niece did it like 3 to 5 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. That's funny.
So what you do, we'll prolong this a couple of more minutes. What do you, what do you sell card wise? Do you sell card wise on Whatnot and or Whatnot or District? Kind of keep.
I do both. I do a card show every Monday night, 10:30 on Whatnot. Then I just did one at 6:00 on Dibdit Cards tonight. So I usually do a blend of vintage and modern, more skewed to vintage, some like unopened packs.
Oh.
And I'm getting more into breaks. And breaks are fun because it's, from a breaker standpoint, there's pretty low risk. You're probably going to make money. However, you're capped out on how well you can do on it, but they're fun. They're fun. You get to open packs and make money doing it. So, I'm doing a pretty big break on Friday night as far as like amount of boxes and whatnot. And I saw a lot of vintage clothing too on both Whatnot. And that's what I started selling on Whatnot, more vintage clothing. I do more of that on Dibdit Threads now on District, but I saw a lot of that, hats and clothing.
Now, is it all sports themed or it's?
No, I mean, that's the focus, but I do sell like vintage, like Andy bought a vintage Harley or Grateful Dead shirt from me. So I sell like music shirts and Harley shirts and nature shirts a little bit. And as long as it's vintage, I'll sell it.
Do you have any of those pirate shirts from Seinfeld?
No, I don't mean no, I don't have any of them. No, I wish. I did have a cool Kramer shirt.
Yeah, they definitely would sell.
Yeah.
Have you sold artwork, the Kramer?
Yeah.
I had that shirt. I've sold that shirt before. Yeah.
Did you? What does something like that go for?
Mine was like cropped. It was like cut short. So I think I got like $50 for it. But that shirt's like $150 shirt.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The painting. Any of the Seinfeld like 90s t-shirts are going to bring that kind of money, I think. Single stitched vintage and 90s stuff is pretty good when it's like pop culture like that.
Yeah. Well, I had no idea whatsoever about that. Now I got something to look for when I'm out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Or if I'm going around the flea market and I see some guy wearing it, I'll be like, hey, how much for your shirt?
Yeah, anything like that. That's like Friends, anything that's popular in the 80s, 90s, it's going to have some value.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. We definitely had a fun time tonight. We're going to definitely have to do this again.
Sure.
Great to have you guys on. And I absolutely loved the draft. I think that was a lot of fun having that as well. So,
definitely.
Yeah.
and if you are from the $1 Million Peddler universe, like I said, they're going to stay on. So just stay on with them. They'll take you on a fun little trip, and they'll probably talk bad about us behind our backs. So you can go back to us.
Yeah. We're not going to stay on tonight. We'll end it tonight, but we'll be back on next week.
Okay. Next
Yeah,
week.
we'll talk nice about you. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I really do appreciate that. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. And we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye. See ya.
See ya.